He was once Speaker of the House. Historically, yeah, he was removed. I think it was the first time in a century we saw anything like that happen. But now Kevin McCarthy may be leaving Congress altogether. The Republican reportedly considering not running for re-election, but he's running out of time to make that decision.
And let's let our News Nation newsmakers weigh in on this one today. We have Lydia Moynihan, Jesse Weber, Tracy Walder. Thanks, guys. It's always good to see you. I don't know. Jesse, let me start with you. We obviously wouldn't be seeing this unless he had just recently been ousted. I imagine he has such a sour taste in his mouth. Who can blame him, though? I mean, who would want to stay when you're somewhere where you're unwanted?
No, I'm not blaming him. And listen, I mean, this is what we should expect. I mean, honestly, I blame the extremes in the party for this. They had to have known that this could happen. And what's shocking to me is going into 2024 when the party needs to be unified. If you lose Kevin McCarthy, you're also going to lose George Santos. You're basically losing that majority. McCarthy was known for raising hundreds of millions of dollars for the party. He was such a key figure. What are you doing? I'm not sure what the game plan was. You knew ousting him, he was possibly going to leave. And it's not the best thing for the Republicans. So I blame them if he decides to leave.
Well, and perception is reality so many times in stories like this, you know, that he may have shoved or elbowed Representative Tim Burchett in the hallway. That was also something that made a lot of headlines. Lydia, what's the buzz in media? I would think that the New York Post, the New York Times, the Washington Post, Wall Street Journal all have something to say about whether he's going to stay or go.
Like Jesse said, I can't blame him. I think more than anything, though, there's a long and rich tradition in politics of people who have these leadership roles cashing out. And so I think you look at Eric Cantor, you look at John Boehner, you look at a lot of people who've held these leadership roles. Once they basically achieved the pinnacle of their success, getting that leadership role, they typically think, all right, well, I made my contribution to society. I served my time. I'm ready just to kind of pack it away and finally get paid a lot of money for what I have to offer. And so I've got to think for him, he's an extremely connected guy. He raised tons of money. People I know in Wall Street are very close with him. He is very connected. So I could imagine that he is ready to stop going to work where people hate him. That must be really miserable. You show up every day, people on your team don't like you, people on the other team don't like you. I think he's ready to start cashing in.
Yeah, it gives me anxiety just thinking about it. Tracy, your thoughts on the exit here? You know, he posted that photo to Instagram, and it looked like he was really packing up the district office, frames off the wall. He's posing with his dogs. Do you see this as an act of revenge, maybe? I mean, you know, to Jesse's point, George Santos is likely now going to be expelled on Friday. Anyway, he's doing this to leave a narrow majority in the House.
I have to be honest with you, Marky. That's exactly why I think that he's doing this. You know, I do think, in a way, he's a man scorned, if you will. And I think, as Jesse pointed out, that he feels that his own party did this to him. Therefore, it's his own party that needs to pay the price. And so now they will have a smaller majority because, yes, I do believe that Santos will be expelled on Friday. And if he leaves as well, yes, they maintain that majority, but it's not as large of a majority. And ultimately, that hurts his Republican Party in the end. So part of me wonders if this is sort of an act of vengeance, if you will. And I also don't blame him one bit for wanting to cash in. It's got to be a very stressful situation for him.
Yeah, and stressful for a lot of people around him. I think about his family,
his
party.
Wife. He can leave if he wants to, right?
Right. Good last words on that topic, Lydia. Let's go to this next one, though. Elon Musk is making headlines all around the world this morning following his apology and comments at the New York Times big event on Wednesday, delivering a message to advertisers who say, you know what, we don't want to be associated with some of your recent posts. Let's listen in to what he said.
I hope they stop. You hope? Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself.
But
go f yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
I think it was pretty, again, clear language, and some people laughing in that second round of saying it again. Jesse, what's your response?
Well, he certainly made CEO Linda Yaccarino's job a lot tougher. But look, I might have a controversial point of view on this. I think there is something refreshing about Elon Musk. And I say this for somebody who heavily criticized him for what he posted 2 weeks ago. But he's not beholden to anybody. He is so adamant in his position. Who else would have said what he said yesterday? Who else, after posting what he posted 2 weeks ago, actually go to the Jewish state, meet with Jewish leaders, visit the kibbutz, meet with the families of those whose loved ones were taken hostage, and after all the criticism, listen to them, hear them? This is kind of, you got to give him credit at times. I know he's a controversial figure, but the idea that he's able to do this, I mean, it's pretty amazing to see.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.